starting. Okay, now we're live.
Oh,
okay.
We're live.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike,
in the corner.
Mike, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Mike.
There's here I am.
And then James, raise your hand. Okay, so this is the Soundwall panel for the alumni panel, and then Mike is our counselor for our drum instructor counselor, and then James is our student counselor, and he plays drums like so well. So, oh wait, I was supposed to ask you guys that. Oh well, Mike, how long have you been at Soundwall as a counselor?
I've been, let's see, I want to say this will be my 4th year. So yeah, 2015, 16, 17, or 3rd year in a row. Maybe you guys can help me remember.
I think it's.
I think it's 4.
This upcoming will be the 4th. Yeah, I've done the last.
I think it's 3
Oh,
because
really?
I remember you came my 2nd year and I was there 4 times.
Right. So I've done 3, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, I've done 3. So this upcoming July will be my 4th year in a row. I also helped out back in like 2000. Around 2000, I think I was about 17 or almost 18, and I was like an assistant drum instructor with John, and before I went off and did other college stuff. But yeah, so and then I've been I don't know if you're going to ask me this later, but I was a student as well when I was like 11 years old, so that would have been back in like 95. It's probably my first year as a student, and I think I went there through 98, about 4 years.
Okay. Your lips are done moving, so I think you're done talking. Okay, and then James, your turn. How many years have you been there as like a student counselor, and then I guess as a student too?
As a student, geez. Okay, so I think I started when I was 13 or 14, and I was a student all the way up until I was 18, and then as a counselor after that. So it's like. Jeez, I think 2 or 3. I think I've done 2 years as a student counselor, and this upcoming one will be my 3rd.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So this is for both of you. What have you guys been up to since attending Soundwall? And then Mike, you can go first.
Oh, okay. Since attending as a student?
Yeah, like what have you been doing like outside of camp? Like what have you been doing with your life?
So as of late, like lately, you mean?
Yeah, like what have you been doing like outside of camp? What?
Well, I'm hearing some, like that's weird. I'm hearing some. Sorry, it's repeating what you said a minute ago.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
the delay. It's pretty.
I teach a lot, so outside of teaching at Soundwall, I just keep teaching a lot of rock and roll, other styles, but I teach like 6 days a week, about 45 to 50 students a week, mostly private lessons. And then I've been gigging a little more now that it's spring and summer. I've got a lot of gigs coming up in the summer with different bands, a funk band, some Beach Boy cover band stuff, and some other cover band stuff. But other than that, just hanging out. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter and a great wife, and I have another daughter due at the end of the month on May 31st. So I got my hands full right now.
Oh, no way!
That's so soon! What?
That's awesome.
May 31st, yeah. So I'll have 2 kids before next Soundwall. So
that's crazy.
I'm sure they'll make a visit.
Oh my god.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Okay. James, you can go now.
So, sorry. Repeat the question, please.
Oh, like what have you been up to since attending Soundwall? Like, what's your life been like?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've just been majoring in jazz studies at USC. I'm about to finish up my sophomore year there, so that's been pretty much consuming most of my time. Besides that, music related, I've been playing a lot with a fellow Soundwall camper, Ryan Mullins, working on an album right now, kind of like a heavy metal album. So it's a little bit different than what I'm doing at school, but it's fun, and we should have the album done pretty soon. So that's cool. Yeah, that's about it.
That's cool. Let's see. So I'm gonna start with James now since I started with Mike. Also, if I cut you off, it's just because I think I don't know.
I think we're done.
This delay is terrible. So like, what are the memories that you took away from attending camp?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, James.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Question one more time. You're kind of like
you're good. Totally good.
freezing and stuff.
What were some of the memories that you took away from attending camp?
Oh, geez. I just loved every performance I think that I did. I did every time I got up on the stage when I was just like playing with my friends. I just remember having so much fun, especially seeing like all the campers come down to the front and support you, and being in the front, like supporting my friends up on the stage. Was really just kind of magical moments for me. I mean, among many other things, that's just like the one that comes to mind right now.
Oh, that's cool. And then Mike.
Yeah. What are some of my favorite memories?
Yeah, good.
I have a lot. I mean, I started going and hanging out at Soundwall when my brother Scott was there, like the first and second, third year when I was too young to go. So I used to just kind of sit and hang out as a little, like, I was probably 8 or 9 or 10 years old watching teenagers play rock. So I kind of like dreamt about it for a few years. And then I think I was 11 or so. And one of my favorite memories then was, my first year was starting my first band ever with a couple of guys that were really good, especially a guitar player notably, but Tom and Charles Altura. Now Charles is playing with James name. He went to USC.
He's playing with
UCLA, I think. I don't know. Or wait, I forget. No,
I think he's playing with Jay. He's playing with lots of people. He's crazy good, dude. He's crazy good.
He's played with Chick Corea and Terrence Blanchard.
And
But anyways, that was my first rock band ever, and it was formed at my first year at Soundwall. It was called Crash, and we were a band for a few years until those guys moved away. But so that was a big one. The other big memory I had was when I think my second year there, I dyed my hair purple with my brother who was playing bass there at the time, Eric. And then CNN did a story at the camp, and they interviewed me, and I sounded like this. I think I was 11 or 12. But yeah, it was really cool. And, but other than that, memories were just learning, kind of just like the journey as a student, like going there and having a bunch of fun, but also kind of getting your butt kicked and like learning what it takes to put a band together and then play songs and get through songs, how that all works, and how to perform. Not only how to play songs, but how to perform. I think was a big part of the, fun at Soundwall. So, yeah.
And then, Mike, like, how do you teach the workshops?
I pretty much sit back and just tell people they're doing it wrong. And no, I'm just kidding. So the drum and bass workshop?
Yeah.
Well, normally we start out I like Mark's method of it. We kind of start out doing like a jam thing, which usually is what happens if you ever get together with like a bass player and you're a drummer, or vice versa. You go, okay, you play something. Oh, cool. I'll try to play to that, And so we kind of approach it like that. We go like, all right, come up with something, try to keep it consistent, and then other, musician try to play something that fits into that, and then you reverse the roles. Sometimes we do other workshops too. I always like to do at least some kind of technique workshop, just to see everybody's hands and see how like technique and stuff is going. The stuff that you don't really have time to do when you're like in the rehearsals, when you're doing, as you guys know, when you're rehearsing songs and getting ready for the final concert, you don't have time to sit there and go, okay, hey man, look how you're hitting the drum. You just have to get the song together. So I like to kind of take that time to do the little things that, you don't have time for in other classes. So.
Yeah.
I think you're done talking.
I think
so. And then James, have you taught like a workshop before? Like, I'm not sure. I feel like you have.
I taught my first like morning class last summer, I think.
How'd it go?
It was great. It was the Friday morning class, so it was a little bit stress, a little bit. I think it was just one song forget what song. I think it might have been Bomb Track, I think, by Rage Against the Machine. I think that was one that I was teaching. Yeah, so that was a fun one. Got to perform that one up with the staff that morning, and then I just taught it in the rooms. It was really cool. I just mainly just kind of follow what Chris Meek does, kind of go through it step by step with the book, really kind of addressing each of the sections, specifically like the tough ones, kind of go over and like ways how I would approach playing, and maybe follow that. Go along with the recording, to kind of like slow it down to play to like, 3/4 speed and slowly bring it up until like they got it. So yeah, pretty standard stuff.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna keep saying that I don't cut you guys off. Like I'm not even kidding. Oh man, my phone locked. Okay, next question. So like this is for both of you. Like, how much talent do like new campers need to be at Soundwall? Like, do they have to be like guitar gods or drum gods or whatever?
Total like little Bonhams and birds. Total phenoms only. No, absolutely not. No, I think it's really. I think it's definitely an all level, pretty much. Obviously, a student needs to have like a little bit of experience playing grooves, maybe with the band helps. But there's a lot of times when we might see that like a student in the acceptance process or whatever, probably see that a student hasn't really played in bands or doesn't have any experience playing in bands, but if they have enough talent where we can tell, they won't have a problem, then it's really an all level thing, and usually there's a good mix of everything. So I think we do a pretty good job of figuring out like how to put kids together in bands, but then also trying to make sure that maybe the kids that don't have as much experience do get a chance to jam with some kids that or teachers or whatever, people that have more experience, because as you guys know, that's a big that's like one of the best ways to learn. I feel when I was growing up, I always tried as much as I could to play with people, and Charles Altura, they were a lot better than me, because it always makes you to up your game. So but it's really an all level thing. It's really and I've seen some kids I have seen kids come in there and you kind of go, oh boy, and then by the end of the week they get it together. So you're
done talking. Okay,
I'm done.
And then James, do you have anything to add to that, or do you want to?
I think Mike covered most of it. Like we said, like we welcome people of pretty much like all skill levels, and even people who at first may start out kind of like a little bit lower than the bar. I think the staff as a whole does a great job of accommodating those kids in particular. Like I know me and a couple other the student counselors have like had like separate kind of lessons aside to like help the kids kind of catch up and play their songs, and it always works out great. Like even the kids who are scared to like take a solo at the concert just end up rocking it anyways, and it's really cool. So yeah, no, I don't think there's like a big like barrier for skill level or anything.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know if I cut you off. I hope I didn't.
No, you didn't. You're good. Yeah, you kind of froze for a second, but we're okay. We're okay.
I had to think about it. I had to wait. Whatever. Okay, next question. Okay, well, this is a good one. So, and James, you can go first. So like besides like talent and technique, what makes a good sound?
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, froze. Can you repeat the question, please?
I think you cut out. Bianca cut out.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now I was supposed to say that on there. Yeah. Dang it! I thought I wouldn't slip. Okay,
I think you guys can hear me now.
Sorry, can you please
so for James and Mike, but James first. Besides technique and talent, like what makes a good Soundwall camper?
What makes a good camper? I guess someone who like
besides talent.
I think just kind of like a fervor in general, just like a general kind of like excitement and enthusiasm about like everything that the camp has to offer. Like someone who's always like stepping up in the morning rooms and like playing multiple rounds and helping out other people. I think I think those are all generally what makes a good camper.
Yep. And so,
got it. Yeah. We're
okay.
good.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I like that.
Gosh, I should just do this after every time I speak. Yeah,
that'd be cool. That'd be super rad. Okay, Michael, you can go.
Yeah, somebody who always brings extra like Gatorades and Cheez-Its and shares all their food with everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah.
Pretty much, obviously, somebody with a good attitude, or it's always nice when, regardless of their talent level, if they like kind of go above and beyond and come ask for a private lesson during meal break or something, or do a little bit of extra to prepare, because there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on besides the music. Everyone's hanging out, so it can be easy to sometimes not put in all the work to prepare your stuff for the final show. And it's always good when somebody does their part so that it's fair for everybody else in their band. Also, yeah, good attitude, and somebody who's willing to help other people out too, I guess.
You're done. Okay.
I'm done.
You're done. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'll give this question to James, just for James, because we were just talking about this before we did this. So, okay. So, do you work within the music industry outside of Soundwall, and how?
Sorry, repeat the question one more time.
Yeah. Where'd it go? Do you work within the music industry outside of Soundwall, and how?
Well, I mean, I'm not quite like in it yet. I'm taking a couple of classes that would.
But he's coming.
That would help for that. Yeah.
Better keep his eyes open. Broke his 2020.
Oh no. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. Just yeah. I mean, that's ultimately where I'd like to end up. That's why, and down here in LA for college, it's kind of in the, I feel like, and that's why I'm majoring in music. That's why I'm going to music school. So yeah. Hopefully soon.
Done. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Mike, what advice would you give to beginners who are nervous?
My advice for beginners who are nervous is, I mean, try to do anything you can to relax. It's a lot like the first book report you give, or the first few book reports you give. My advice is that really, almost everybody gets nervous, and most people get nervous every time they do something in front of their peers, or do whatever it is they do. Just about everybody. There's very, very, very few people that I've ever known that didn't get nervous most of the time, and usually those people have like screws loose or something. So, it's all about preparation. You have to prepare, because you're going to get nervous, or you might get nervous, or your favorite drummer might walk in the room or something. So you always have to be prepared. If you're super prepared,
sure,
there's no nerves in the world that could get in your way of doing what you got to do. That being said, it's not like, oh, you're going to be nervous all the time. Just get used to it. You kind of get used to it, and you learn to sort of channel your nerves. You learn ways to, whether it's counting, whether it's like saying some weird thing backwards in your head, I don't know. But you kind of have to just figure out a way, to get through it. Usually after a song or two, you're all good. It's like anything else. But preparation is my advice. Just make sure you know exactly what you got to do, and that even if you screw up, you can get back on board, So I'm done.
Okay. Okay, then I have one more question. So yes, okay. So when you guys were at camp, what is your favorite performance that you guys did, if that makes sense? I know you guys did a lot, but if you could pick one, or maybe just talk about one that you really liked, that'd be cool. And then I don't know who wants to go first.
I could go first, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So favorite 8 years back. Sorry. Performance?
Yeah, like favorite the one that you've like performed in, like favorite, whatever.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's gotta be one of the ones I did with Alec, but I just because all of them were just killer. If I had to pick one, it might have to be when we did. Jeez.
I know that's so on the spot. I'm really sorry.
It's I think that one didn't have Alec though. I mean, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was super cool. I think when I did Creeping Death with when Alec came down, he wasn't even his week at camp. He wasn't even technically a camper that week, but he drove.
That's what makes it
or drove down. I'm not sure, but he drove over to do the lead vocal on "Creeping Death" by Metallica. Nice. One of my years, and that was awesome. And that was like me and another alumni camper, Ryan Ostro, on guitar, and it was bands. Like all of us were kind of like older, so like we knew how to like keep it together. It was super tight. It was fun. It's like my favorite Metallica song, and Alec just absolutely nailed it, like he always does in all of his vocal performances. So yeah, that was just a lot of fun.
Aww, yay! Okay, Mike, your turn.
I don't know. That's kind of tough. I can think back. I think on most of the final songs I did. We used to do a fun way back when it was at a day camp at Cal High. We used to do. Maybe we'll bring it back. Like a final drum circle jam. There'd be like, 3 drum sets and a bunch of percussion, and all the drummers would do this giant like percussion thing, showdown. But my favorite performance that I did, I guess, I'm going to go with the top 2. So probably the second favorite one was Paranoid Android, which was, I think, my last year my last year at Cal High before it moved to Santa Clara and then Santa Cruz. And then also, I think my favorite, though, at least that I think went the best musically, was we did I Know Something by Alice in Chains. I think that was at Santa Clara, but I don't know. It was cool. I got to play with some of the older, better kids, and it was just really good, as I recall. I'm done.
I was like on it this time too. It's just like I'm gonna say something and whatever. It's fine. And then I've answered this question 3 times, or no, 2 times, but this is the 3rd time. It was my favorite one's like the last one I just did, which was Newborn with all of my friends, and I don't know, we were just super tight in that group, and we were like all close friends. We still hang out, and so that's my favorite one. Totally. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Cool. And then I'm gonna stop the broadcast. But if you guys want to say anything at all, maybe.
Can I just stay in the Google Hang?
No, I'm good.
Huh?
Can I just stay in the Google Hang and like do practice interviews with myself?
I mean, that's gonna be like a really long video, but
the interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm gonna
get back to the game. Halftime's. Oh, it's the 3rd quarter.
Stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop it.
All right.